Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. Today we are going to present to you guys about our project assignment. Regarding our project assignment, we have chosen Dutch Lady Milk Industry Berhad. Without further ado, I am Afifa Zainal and now let's move to the first part of this assignment. Alright, so we are now here at introduction. In history, more than 140 years of Dutch dairy tradition, Dutch Lady Malaysia is Malaysia's leading dairy enterprise. One of the largest dairy cooperative in the Netherlands is Royal Friesland Campina and Wheat. Furthermore, Dutch Lady Malaysia is also located in Petaling Jaya, Selangor, and it is Malaysia's first milk firm to be listed on KLSE. In addition, Dutch Lady also has become one of the firms that distribute a wide range of high quality and delicious milk-based dairy products ranging from design milk powder and yogurt drink to the fresh milk and UHT throughout Malaysia to assist Malaysians keep nourished and healthy as they progress in life. Furthermore, Dutch Lady also have been certified by the Halal Hub Division of the Department of Islamic Development Malaysia, JAKIM, and the Selangor Islamic Religious Department, JAIS. In terms of corporate performance, Dutch Lady also achieved a great sale growth of 1,100 million in 2020, up to 4% from the previous year. Last but not least, this company mainly sell and distribute their product to the wholesaler such as Aeon and Lotus. So that's all the introduction about Dutch Lady Milk Industry Berhad. Next, I will pass to my friend to continue explain about the business process.
Hi and Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Nofazana Hanabit Ilham and my matrix number is 201874. So today I will continue this presentation with the revenue cycle. So let's start with the sales order system. The revenue cycle begins when a customer places order according to their desired demand on the type of milk and also the quantity of milk with the representatives by mail, phone calls and others. Then the sales clerk will prepare the sales order in a formal document which include all the details of the customer. Then make it into few copies for the use of another process. At the same time, the sales clerk will prepare the packing slip and shipping notice to be processed in the shipping goods by the shipping department and also the stock release document. Before the order can be proceeded, there is a requirement to check the credit status of the buyer in the customer history report file. After the credit limit has been established, credit checks on the future orders may be restricted. It is to confirming that the client has a history of paying bills on time. Also, the current sales do not exceed the pre-established credit limit. Furthermore, it is because to ensure the customer's creditworthiness is fast to avoid selling to the buyer who is unable to pay the credit sale. Once the credit sales status is approved by the credit check department, then the order will be proceeded by returning back the approved sales order to the sales clerk to process the order. Okay, next, when the warehouse receives the copy of the approved sales order, they will directly go to the warehouse and pick the dairy product order. Before it is going to be released, it must be authorized by the warehouse personnel first to verify the stock release document with the sales order to ensure that it is right product. If the inventory level is insufficient, the clerk will prepare the back order record which stay in the record until the stock arrives. The clerk in the shipping department will receive the dairy product physically from the warehouse department and receive a packing slip and shipping notice from the sales department as to be filed. Once they receive the product on hand, the clerk will reconcile the sales order document with the stock release document for verification. If it is correct, the clerk will continue to prepare the package of the dairy product. After the product is sent to the carrier, the shipping notice and stock release are forwarded to the bill function. The bill function clerk will identify the customer according to the shipping notice received. Then the clerk will prepare the sales invoice document to record the sales journal, then prepare the sales journal voucher. The stock release document that was received just now will be forwarded to the inventory department. The clerk will update the inventory records by recording the product and the quantity sold in the inventory subsidiary ledger. The summarized inventory will be recorded in the journal voucher to be sent to the general ledger, while the account receivable department function will update the account receivable in the subsidiary ledger by referring to the invoice receipt. And they will prepare an account receivable summary and send it to the general ledger department. Then the general ledger department will file all these documents in the general ledger department records. So next, let's proceed with the cash receipt system. After a customer places an order, then it will describe a credit transaction that results in the establishment of account receivable. For the next event, the cash receipt procedure is used. An employee in the Dutch lady's mailroom examines client cash receipt and reconciles the amounts on the check and the remittance advice. The remittance advice should next be sent to the accounting department, where a clerk will record each remittance advice on the remittance list. Information needed to serve individual client accounts is contained in the remittance advice, like payment date, account number, amount paid, and customer check number. All are included. There will be 3 copies of remittance list that will be prepared by the clerk. First, to record and deposit checks. The original copy is supplied with the checks. The second copy is sent to update the account receivable function with the remittance advice. The final copy is sent to the duty reconciliation. Next, the employee records the check in the cash receipt diary after reconciling the pre-list to the check. The employee records the check in the cash receipts diary after reconciling the pre-list to the check. The cash receipt diary keeps track of all cash receipt transactions, including cash sales, miscellaneous cash receipt, and cash received on account. Following that, the Dutch lady clerk will produce a bank deposit sheet detailing the amount of the day's receipt and send it to the banks with checks. In the account receivable subsidiary ledger, the remittance advice is utilized to post the client's accounts. The general ledger function will reconcile the figures again after receiving the journal voucher and account summary, then post it to the cash and account receivable control accounts, and file the general ledger voucher. That's all for me. I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Dawati binti Sulaiman. Okay, I will explain about the next process, which is expenditure cycle. For the first process is purchase order. In general, the basic purchase order procedures are to recognize the inventory level, place order to vendor, receive goods, and lastly, check the liability involved for the purchase order if applicable. In the same way, Dutch lady purchase processing procedure in detail triggered by the level of inventory that had reached a predetermined pre-order point were started by the inventory clerk monitoring and recording the finished good inventory level first to detect the required amount of raw material needed to produce more finished goods. Then when a predetermined reorder point has been confirmed, a purchase requisition will be issued before it handed by the purchase order function. This purchase requisition contains only one type of inventory, even from the same vendor, and all information about the vendor will be referenced through the inventory subsidiary ledger and valid vendor file for the purpose of ensuring purchases are only made to authorized vendors only. After that, those purchase requisitions will be combined into a single purchase order for each respective vendor. Following this, 4 copies of purchase order will be sent to first to vendor, second sent to the account payable function or put into AP pending file for a while. Third, which is the blind copy sent to the receive goods function, and lastly sent to the open or close purchase order file. After placing the order, usually the lady will have to wait less than a week to receive goods, and when the goods arrive, it will be reconciled to the blind copy by the receiving clerk to ensure items are in good condition and the correct quantity. In the case of damaged goods or wrong items will be detected before confirmation of receiving goods is made. As soon as that, the receiving clerk will provide a receiving report and make 5 copies of it to be sent to the raw material storeroom together with the inventories received to the open or closed PO file to the AP function and place in AP pending file to the inventory control function, and lastly to place in receiving report file. Later move to the inventory control function that will update the inventory quantities based on the receiving report just now. Afterward, the AP function will have to record the estimated obligation amount based on the PO and receive a report in the AP pending file while waiting for the vendor's invoice to make real payment. When the invoice received, the AP clerk will use three-way match to reconcile the 3 documents. Example, PO, receiving report, and vendor's invoice. After the reconciliation process is done, an AP packet that contains the 3 documents will be prepared and then put in the open AP file. Next, payment will be made and recorded in the AP subsidiary ledger when a batch of order for the period is complete, and the AP clerk will record it in the purchase journal, then issue a journal voucher to be sent to the general ledger function. Finally, the general ledger function reconciles summary of inventory, control accounts that have been received from inventory control function with inventory subsidiary summary. Then record the details in the journal voucher to the inventory and AP control account, and lastly place the journal voucher to the approved journal voucher field. Okay, for the next one is the cash disbursement system. The payment of obligations formed in the purchase system is handled by the cash disbursement system of Dutch Lady Meat Industries Sdn Bhd. The fundamental goal of this system is to ensure that only legitimate creditors are paid and that the amounts paid are accurate and timely. The procedure starts in the account payable department, where an AP clerk will look over the open AP file for items that are due for payment. This file is usually structured by payment due date to ensure that debts are paid as close to the due date as feasible without missing deadline or losing discount. The clerk then provides payment for permission to the cash distribution department in the form of an AP packet, which is contain PO, receipt report, and supplier's invoice. The AP packet is received by the cash disbursement clerk, who checks the document for completeness and clerical accuracy. The clerk prepares a check for each distribution and notes the check number, dollar amount, and other essential information in the check register, also known as the cash disbursement log. The check must also be approved by the cash disbursement department manager or treasurer of DLMI. The negotiable portion check The negotiable portion check is then mailed to the supplier with a copy attached to the AP package as confirmation of payment and a check copy filled in the department. The clerk returns the paperwork to the AP clerk after making them as paid. Finally, the cash disbursement clerk sums up the entries in the check register and sends a journal voucher to the general ledger function with the following journal entry. The AP clerk removes the liability by debiting the vendor's AP subsidiary ledger account after receiving the paid AP packet. After that, the AP packet is put in the closed AP file and an account summary is generated and forwarded to the general ledger function. The The general voucher from cash disbursements and the AP account summary from accounts payable are sent to the general function. Payment to suppliers resulted in overall reduction in the LMI's obligation and cash account as shown on the voucher. These figures are compared to the AP summary, and the general ledger's AP control and cash account are modified accordingly. The general voucher that has been approved is then filed. Next, I will pass the presentation to Afifa for the current issue associated with the subsystem. Thank you.
The world has been plagued by the COVID-19 pandemic since a year ago, which has not yet fully recovered, but it is still under control. More SMEs are struggling to survive in their business to maintain their profitability. This includes Dutch Lady Milk Industry Berhad DLMI. The current issue that are faced by DLMI is low demand due to the consumer's personal preference. Breastfeeding is preferred by mothers over giving their newborns dairy milk substitute purchase in store because they are concerned about their child's health. Breast milk contains about 90% water as well as the lipid, protein, carbs, and mineral that newborns require to grow. In addition, the mother are more likely to start the weaning process of the milk from any product from their babies and likely to introduce the solid food as to build a strong body immune system for their child. Next, the LMI is dealing with the fact that global dairy prices are projected to remain high for the rest of the year. Under current policy, the LMI will receive raw dairy milk price signal in uncertain time period because it received raw milk dairy supply from a global corporation for dairy milk. Furthermore, an increase in the price of raw milk dairy will result in an increase in the price of the product given to the consumer. In year 2021, the gross net profit declined 16.3% to RM 16.88 million, down from RM 20.16 million in year 2020, while sales fell 10.6% to RM 258.64 million from RM 289.15 million on a quarterly basis. The changes of the price are out of the DLMI's control, so they need to bear the risk. So I will pass to the next presenter.
Now we have come to the last part of this presentation, in which I will explain about the offer and recommendation for the improvement in Dutch Lady. So as mentioned by Tasha before, there are two main problems that faced by Dutch Lady, which are in terms of low demand and higher price in raw dairy milk. Therefore, there are two recommendations that we are going to suggest to Dutch Lady in order to improve their products. So the first recommendation is to increase the product quality. So Dutch Lady must take an action in order to increase their product quality so that it can meet the consumer personal preferences. Since parents now they are very concerned about their baby's health, Dutch Lady need to study on local consumer behavior and also trends in order to identify what are their customer preferences. So to increase the profit of Dutch Lady, they also must produce better quantity infant formula milk by exploring and mastering the ingredients that are related to this infant formula milk, or maintain as close as proximity as possible to breast milk composition. Furthermore, Dutch Lady also must focus on the packaging of the baby milk powder, as this is the most significant in ensuring that the milk's quality lasts longer and not being contaminated. So this is where the warehouse department need to play their role in ensuring the product is well packaged during the delivery process to the storeholder and wholesaler. So lastly is Dutch Lady can get customer feedback from using their product. So for example, based on the consumer feedback received by Dutch Lady, Dutch baby milk contains quite high additional sugar level that worries the parent because it can lead to tooth decay, poor diet, and lead to obesity to their children. Therefore, Dutch Lady must improve their Dutch baby milk powder by using the feedback and do extra marketing for this product so that the customer are aware of their product. So for the second one, on the other hand, Dutch Lady can maintain their product by lower the price of their dairy baby milk powder. So, for example, considering the current circumstances of this COVID-19 pandemic, consumers are apprehensive about their spending. As we all know, baby milk powder is an essential food for the babies because it is the only food that they can eat. So, in order to lower the price, during this pandemic, Dutch Lady might take disadvantage of this opportunity by cutting the price of its baby milk product in order to attract more customers to buy their product. Dutch Lady also can cut the price of their product on e-commerce site like Shopee or Lazada, because nowadays we can see that people are preferring to shop online rather than go to physical store because they want to avoid physical distance. So by this way, Dash Lady can also provide discount to customers who purchase their product in large quantities. This can result in a rapid increase to Dash Lady's revenue during this pandemic. Therefore, Dash Lady can retain their consumers in the target market and maintain their position as one of the leading consumer product by employing this price strategy. So I think that's all from me. That's all from us. Thank you.